Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
Also, along the same lines, right? We've got some great people out there that I just interviewed just yesterday, and there's a really dumb show out there. I mean, it's really dumb. No, really. The Don't Unfriend Me podcast is growing in popularity, and I caught up with the show's host, Matthew and Olivia Speer. Let's check it out.
Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now. About this new world. Ain't no drag. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? So let's see, 15 this evening, internet goes out and Comcast says, we don't know when it's going to be back. So like right at like 6:58, it comes back on and stable. But then remember, we hadn't built the show yet because, we usually about an hour and a half is when we kind of start putting everything together and put the videos together. So needless to say, I apologize. We hate being late. We don't like to. Fortunately, it used to be because of ill preparedness, but now it's because of stupid outside influences. So appreciate everybody. August 5th, Tyler Fisher will be here. That's official. Hayden and Mom are going to Scott Lloyd in Front Royal to cover that election, which we've been covering now for about 6 months. We're really excited about that. Damani, and then Ethan and I will be here with Tyler, the Fisher. Let's see. Damani Felder will be here August 7th. He assures me we will be here. Hannah Pruder will be here. Lisa Regina, Ben Morgan, and Amber Hilliker from the Amber May Show. Folks, we're going to obviously be against it tonight. And there's just a lot of outside stuff going on too. So bear with us. We're trying to get it all situated as far as the ins and outs of life interfering with the show. So I think we're in a good spot now, and we're here. And I figure I'd share this with you real quick. This is, first of all, $300 is up on the board. And for overtime, we would love to hit it. So it's going to be a late night anyway, so we might as well make it worthwhile. So here is the blessed photograph of the Black George. This is the F4U birdcage model. Now, the birdcage was representative of the canopy that it went back and had a small hump in the front, and that was the Marine Corps version. This is the Navy version, and yes, the Black George was the Marine Corps version, but I love the decal, and I'm putting it on there. But you notice the Jolly Roger is on the fuselage right offside the engine. Yes, this is a dirty plane. It's designed to be. If you take a look at the F4U in historical pictures, they're all like this because they were used. And you can tell it's worn, but from the machine gun marks, from the boot prints going up the side to the flyer. The only thing that's been different now is that there is an antenna from the back fin up to the front mast, which is for antennae purposes, and that's been added to it. And that's pretty much it, man. I love sharing these things. So this one was completed yesterday. Finally got it done. The pilot looks wicked. His funny thing is he looks just like Sean Ryan. But you can see the stress and the weathering that goes on to make these things look older, and they come as gray plastic, and then we turn them into this. So this is the F4 Corsair. Oh, and then the running lights and the underboard lights are also done. So anyway, it's cool. It is all the way down there. If you take a look at the pre-show, you can see it next to the coffee. So you've got the F-14, the tank, and then the Corsair, and I'm working on a B-2 now. So there you go for the people who are interested in the modeling. There it is. For those of you who aren't, I apologize that you had to deal with it. So let's rock and roll. We're going to be on to at least 10 o'clock. So we might as well get this thing and get this party started. So, you guys remember there was a lot of conversation. Oh yeah, I got to tech. This is a Deadpool hat, and it's got a little Deadpool saying, and then of course the Scammed shirt. So I wanted to match tonight. So, that's why I'm wearing that. Okay. I want to live with Mamdani. This is interesting because Mamdani, if you remember, just recently, and it's been going on for months, for a couple years now, actually, with ICE, is coupled with that, as far as President Trump's administration, is the focus on voter ID, and how ID seems to be very, very difficult for anyone of color. For white people can do it. Nobody sits there and argues about suburbia that white people would struggle to find ID. But for some reason, Democrats, in their racist ways as they have been for the last 250 years in their party's existence, a little bit less than 250 years, to be honest with you, they don't think black people can get IDs. And that's kind of interesting because they, at one point, didn't believe that they were free and worth much as people. So shocking that this mentality has continued. But here is a woman, I guess, I don't want to misgender her, who wants to live in Mamdani land. Here is the video.
I just looked it up, and Mamdani's term is going to end at the end of 2029, and he can only run for 2 terms. So at most, well, you can only have 2 terms. You can run for more, but you know what I'm saying. And so then the next one, if he gets elected again, would end in 2033. And I am still in college. I don't graduate until next year. So that means I would have at most like 6 years with Mamdani if I move to college. If I move to New York immediately after college, I want to go live in Mamdani land. I want to be there. I want to go be in New York in Mamdani land. It just seems sunshine. It's just sunshine and rainbows, and yet I'm here stuck in the South. I want to go there.
Well, isn't that interesting? The South, I kind of want to ask her the question, what's wrong with the South? Because I don't know if you've been paying attention to Mississippi, Louisiana, and Georgia, but those 3 states are 3 of the most prominent over the last 3 to 5 years as far as a rise in education, are leading the country in educational growth. Now, Louisiana falls in the top 10, but Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, all along that belt are doing exceptionally well at school. So let me make sure I understand this. So the party of education, which are the Democrats, left the South. Remember when there was that great party switch in the civil rights that never took place? And all 13 of those southern states voted against it, and they're trying to convince you that that was Republicans, even though that was the party of the Democrats, with the KKK and the Daughters of the Confederacy and Jim Crow laws and the Tuskegee experiments and Japanese internment camps and Manifest Destiny and the Great Society and modern-day slave plantations and penalizing people due to their crimes based upon their color. Yeah, all those things. Yeah, that was the Democrats. But somehow magically we switched, even though we were the anti-federalists and they were the federalists, which means that we wanted small government back then, and we were the party of Lincoln. And we were founded in classic liberalism. Yeah, okay. All right, so that happened. So we also understand that since civil rights, the South has gotten less racist. So my question, as always, is why did it take 24 years actually, to nominate a Republican president? And the second thing I would go ahead and ask is, so you're saying it got less racist after civil rights under Republican control? The education system is doing better. You take a look at the economies of those states, although not magnificent, but they don't have any major through ports. A lot of them do offshore drilling, but other than that, that's really about it, minus minerals and a few other exports. Those states struggle. They also get hit by hurricanes a lot. But the question I would have is, what are they doing right in education? Well, they're offering more options than just public schools, as far as charter schools, as far as having private schools, as far as having school choice, and allowing people to actually go to the schools that they want to and not necessarily going to the schools that they're designed to, in order to balance based upon income inequality and color of one's skin and how many people sit up and pee or sit down and pee and all of those things that have nothing to do with what a school should be. It should be the kids in the absolute designated mileage of that neighborhood should all go to that school. That's the way it should work. But they are offering more opportunities. And the real big thing that Democrats hate is because it goes against public schools and their unions, which is the largest union in the United States, may not be by size, because the iron workers are usually up there along with some of the police forces and grocery chains. But teachers is the most powerful union as far as Democrats, because they donate the most money to the Democrats. And it's antithetical for them, and they can't stand people homeschooling their kids. They speak out against it. They make fun of you. They call you a Christian, a zealot, a right-wing Republican, MAGA, gun-grabbing, Bible-thumping, redneck, racist, xenophobic, homophobic. But really what we're finding is that these children not only are excelling in education outside of public schools and then entering the school system later in life when the choices are a little less cloudy, because they've been inundated with their parents' wishes and they are firm in their resolve. They're also moving towards God, and there is a major shift in this country for that. So I would wonder why she wants to go to New York, except for that it's Jew-hating, Hamas-supporting, Democrat-infested, socialist shithole. It sounds about par for most of those people. So enjoy that, sweetie. But what's funny is that Mamdani, your great brown hope of the communist socialist, I hate Jews, Hamas supporting douche plows, has decided that ID is the only thing that can stand in the way from you getting into a grocery store. Sounds very racist to me. Listen.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, Jeannie Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like people going and using EBT cards to buy fruit at Walmart in bulk and then turn around and sell it at farmers markets on the weekend that has nothing to do with farmers, and it's still repurposed Walmart goods? Oh, like that? Oh, who's doing that? Oh, illegals? Oh, yeah, definitely Republicans for sure. I get it. Let's go to communist number 3 on the platform.
Look at our RFP for the operator. We are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that. And so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
How? Did I hear library card? Hold on. Let me make sure.
We are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New York.
Over to our EDC head, Jeannie Pack, details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque,
library card-esque, like an ID. And define to me, what do you mean by an everyday New Yorker? I have a feeling that you mean a specific type of New Yorker, and it may have to do with the color of their skin, their sexual disposition, their income level. their tax bracket, their education level, whether they're on subsidies from the government like WIC or Medicaid, or if they're on some sort of Obamacare subsidy. Could that be it? Maybe they're getting free cell phones because they're illegals. I don't know. Interesting. Thanks, Maggie. Nice to know. George is doing well. Folks, just a little heads up. I didn't talk about this, but last week was kind of tough with donations. We wound up doing okay. We made the week, but totally understand it was the last of the month. But we were doing something really good. We were doing overtime, and as soon as this green needle moves all the way up, we go into overtime. And I'd like to try to hit that tonight. And I'm sorry that we weren't on time. That doesn't deserve any kudos or credit, but hopefully it doesn't penalize us, because the worst thing that we could possibly do is go into an hour or so and be at zero. So please understand, I apologize for being late. We did everything we could to get the internet up and running, but without internet, we can't stream, and without internet, we can't research, and without research, we can't do anything. So bear with us on that. But my whole point is, it's kind of ridiculous and a little hypocritical that we're sitting here pretending that that IDs are okay for government-run, state-sanctioned grocery stores, but it's not okay. And it's okay to make sure that New York residents only enter, the right type of residents, the everyday New Yorker, yet we don't hold the same logic and standard for the everyday American in this country to ensure that they're legal and they're meant to be here. I could definitely see how one is completely racist and the other one is just good business. But let me also ask this question. Is that racism to say the everyday New Yorker? Because everyone knows what they're talking about. They're not talking about the middle class. They're talking about impoverished people. And once again, I'm all about soup kitchens, and I'm all about the YMCA, and I'm all about sheltering people, especially in New York with those winters. Listen, being homeless, it sucks. But do you think maybe we could provide a long-term solution for some of these folks versus just getting a Band-Aid on the situation and then in the summer months having crime go rampant and feces all over the place and drug use and prostitution and everything else that goes along with the homeless problem that they have in all of these cities? Maybe we can offer a solution, because all you're doing is encouraging people never to get a job, to never work, knowing that the government will always take care of them. Because if something is free, why would you work for it? It doesn't make any sense. I certainly wouldn't work for it. Another thing, I wanted to bring this up, and I wasn't sure how. You guys remember, 10 months ago, we wound up getting insurance, and I didn't know anything about insurance. I've always had corporate insurance from the jobs I've worked at, and it's always been a great insurance. But Olivia decided to go ahead and do this, and we got this insurance, and we found out, and I'm not going to go into a bunch of details, but if you're buying private insurance, please, please, please make sure that you are double checking what you're getting for the cost. I found out about 90% of my insurance coverage was completely wasting money. About $1,400 a month, about $1,200 of that was just them bending us over the table. There was no mass coverage. There was no emergency coverage. And Ethan went to the emergency room, you remember, with his cut, and that was $2,300. And we got the bill, and I'm like, what's happening? So I started digging into the insurance, and I found out it was a total scam. They've been ripping us off. So we canceled it. And now we're going to go through the state of Virginia and try, and I'm going to get involved and try this out. But my point is that there are companies out there that are designed to scam you. They're designed to take advantage of people who don't know. And unfortunately, Olivia fell privy to that. So almost $13,000. And we wound up getting like $4,700 in ER visits, one for Hayden, one for Ethan, and then Olivia's mammogram. And then Hayden had to have her female area checked. And, $4,300 later. And I'm like, we have insurance. We're paying $1,400 a month. This is something we all should be concerned about. And I just want you to be very cautious and very careful. And you guys know how I am. I'm very frugal, and I like to really dive in and investigate. And we were taken. And my involvement should have been more to begin with something of that size, but it is what it is. So needless to say, it's been a little stressful day at the Speer household as I see these bills come in, and then I find the insurance company doesn't cover anything. So it's a little frustrating. The good news is we canceled it, got completely out from underneath it, and we're going to look for alternate care through the state of Virginia. But honestly, you know, it's not cheap, and it's hard for people. So be cautious of what you get. It's really, really important to do your homework. Elizabeth Hall, did not donate. Sorry, I thought we finally got a donation. Yes, I'm reporting that insurance company to the Attorney General. Yep. So, yeah, listen, I know. And we're just hoping that by November we're good, because it's ridiculous. I'm not going to continue to give them money. Now, we might get an exception because if we file a complaint, they might go ahead and open enroll us. But either way, it's 90 days away, but it's very frustrating. That's why I got a PPO high deductible plan, low monthly payments after deductible one. Yeah, I listen, we're going to look into it. It's horribly expensive. Benefits are the reason a lot of people work beyond retirement. Yeah. And especially when the United States government doesn't give you your insurance because of a loophole. But whatever. It's a whole other conversation. Needless to say, just wanted to bring that up. This lady is a lesbian. She's also a MAGA supporter. They can't stand that, really. The lefties cannot handle the fact that any people who are into the LGBTQ community. Sorry about that. Hold on. Something's happening here with all my stuff. Yeah, so weird. They're supposed to play each time. Wonder why it's not. Hold on. Okay. All right, we'll try that. So anyway, is it just best to go through the state marketplaces? Well, that's what we did. Hey, Liv, I got to find out. I think that's what we did. Did you go through the state marketplaces last time? And what happened? Can you come over here real quick and come around? Yeah. You don't need to get on. Okay. All right. So Olivia's going to tell us what happened.
All right. So they're not very helpful. I got the scam from 2 or 3 people that said, oh yeah, you can get ACA for like $250 a month. And I'm like, awesome. What does that entail? And then they couldn't tell me anything. I'm like, okay. So I had to call several more times, and oh, I'm sorry. I can't sell ACA in Virginia. I'm not licensed to do so. I got that several times. It took me about 5 months to find somebody that actually answered my questions honestly and truthfully and actually could sell me insurance for the state of Virginia. And I actually trusted and listened to, and I had an entire notebook full of information I wrote down, and this person was the only person that actually answered my question all of my questions without hesitation. And she said with what we made, we were not eligible for massive subsidies with ACA, and it would be $2,500 to $3,000 a month for crap insurance. So that's why we went the private insurance route. And I thought that the questions I asked and what we got were the best that we could for the price that we were looking for. But apparently I did not do my research well enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when it comes to insurance, you can't just call somebody and ask questions. You have to go through the marketplace, which means you put your information in, and then you get 50 million phone calls, and they contact you. So you've got to weed through the people. And here's the thing: we already decided on insurance over a year ago. It's been 16 months. Actually, it's been 18 months since I finaled on that person, and I am still getting phone calls and text messages offering insurance.
Wait, you didn't say we've been paying it for 18 months.
No, we haven't, but I've been talking to her for 18 months. She was the person I settled on, and it took us 6 months after talking to her to finally settle and say, this is the insurance we want.
Got it.
So it didn't start until October.
Yeah, so Obamacare's shit. Like, we make too much money for Obamacare. They're just, it's listen, don't weep for us. We're small business owners, and this is the way it works. But it is frustrating, to say the least. All right, thanks. Everybody was wondering.
Yeah, it's at this point.
Brian Ellis was wondering.
Yeah, knocking on wood, with the ages of our children and us not having insurance, honestly, is probably cheaper.
For now, unless something happens. So we need to get insurance. We just need to do it in November in open enrollment, or we file a complaint. And then hopefully they allow us to open enroll, and then we go find something that's suitable. Listen, I want something that's going to take catastrophe. That's really all I care about. And then as far as the appointments and the doctor, we can take care of that. So we just need to sit down and find out what we need. And we're going to be like, oh, we want it all, but we don't need it all. And like major catastrophe is what we want. Emergency room coverage, specialists. But as far as the everyday doctor visit, I don't really care. The VA doesn't cover anything for me. It won't. I've covered this on the show 100 times. And everyone's like, oh, Matt, no, you can do it. Yeah, I've done it. I've tried it. The VA will not give it to us. I missed those appointments when I was in Wyoming, and there was no place to go except for a base that was 120 miles away, and they're not going to cover it anymore. Let's go.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. So, folks, anyway, that's where we're at. So, have we had any donations yet? Okay, great. All right. So, let's go through this. Sorry to get off topic. Oh, it's okay. Don't feel sorry. It just sucks because we were so stoked to have it. And then when I did some digging, I'm like, why are we spending this much money? And this coverage is shit. So I started looking into it. I'm like, oh, man, and it's hard to be mad. You can't be mad at Olivia because she got taken. But I should have gotten involved. And now that I am, I called him and I said, I'm recording this phone call. This is going to the state. I'm reporting you guys. You got 5 minutes to cancel. Mr. Speer, you understand we can discount. I said, take your discount, shove it up your ass. I want my money and I want it prorated. She's like, would you like to cancel it on the 15th or now? And I said, what do you think, lady? Angela Hills, $25 to get you started tonight from sunny Ventura. Thank you, Angela, from the sunny hills of Ventura. So anyway, there's a lot of people who are gay, who are Republicans. And we know Conservative And is one. We know that Scott Pressler is another. And there's plenty of others. And it seems that they have such a big problem. Elizabeth Hall donated $5.65. Thank you, Elizabeth Hall. I saw your message on Facebook. I didn't have a lot of time. And she's like, when's the dumb show coming on? And you spelled it dummy, by the way. It's not D-U-M-M-Y. But anyway, and I'm like, read, because I didn't have time. I was literally booking the show, and I saw your message come up. I'm like, God, I got to answer her. So I was like, read, and I didn't mean it to be negative. Ottawa Satuno, are you using income deductions or gross income? For what? Christine Clark donated $5. It's not much, but let's get it started. Love you all. Thank you, Christine. Are you using income after deductions or gross income? Oh, I see what you're saying. It would be income after deductions because it would base off our income tax, and our accountant has all that. So we kind of get the lowest ballpark of where we're at. And the good news is, I think with ACA, we might fall between $800 and $1,300. Anonymous donated $21.10. Hope that the dumb nation will step up tonight. My God, me too. Me too. We definitely need it tonight. But let's get that thermometer up there because, hey, that's moving the needle. 56.75 is where we're at. Yeah. So, Otto, that's the way we do it. It's after deductions, everything. So it's our net that we go after, not our gross. So here's the video. Let's watch this. I think we're good on donations for a second. Otto, it's great to see. I was thinking about you the other night. And here it is. And Brian, I was thinking about you too, both of you guys. And also thinking about Kevin and seeing how he's doing. But anyway, here's the video.
My book, I'm a lesbian that voted for Trump. Like, would you think I'm still allowed to be here?
Yeah, I might not agree with you, but I would be like, you're a lesbian.
I feel like he's not for the people, so supporting someone who isn't for you is kind of just...
I think he is for us. I mean, I'm a gay American, and he supports Americans and he supports gay people.
How do you personally justify voting for someone who goes against your identity?
I mean, I don't think he does. We literally just had an event, Log Cabin Republicans, at the Trump Tower. Like, Trump knows that we do it every year. We have gays for Trump there.
His beliefs, and your Christian beliefs, I'm assuming?
No, I'm not Christian. I'm actually just very spiritual, yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about the fact that Trump identifies with a religion that is non-inclusive to your identity?
I don't think that's true either. I think the majority of Christians these days, not everyone, of course, I think the majority of Christians, I mean, if you go to church, I'm just driving here on Pride Sunday, there were all these churches that said Pride service, right? I think the majority of them woke up.
That might be a New York thing. I think in a lot of the rest of the United States, that's not at all the case. I think that really is
Not
just
true.
New York.
I think it's a lot of the bigger cities. I agree with that, and I think we still have some way.
See, I live in a rural city and county, so I can say this. My town is 500 people. And I can say that there are 3 churches that my family attend. One is a Baptist church, one is a non-denominational church, and the other church is just like a mega church that Hayden and Ethan go to. And there are gay kids, trans kids, black kids, white kids, Mexican. It doesn't matter. There's every type of person. There's Trump supporters. There's Democrats. That's a ridiculous comment. JD Still will donate $15. Let's go, dummies. Make this magic happen. Yes, please do. It's completely wrong. It's not true. I have never seen a church in my life. And you know me, I'm critical of churches and organized religion. And my church never asks anyone who's gay or straight. They don't give a shit. Nobody cares. They just want people in the seats. They want to preach the word of God. And the thing is about Christians is, yes, there was some tough rhetoric. We understand that. Yes, there were people who were absolutely, would repudiate anyone just because of their sexual disposition. Hell, it happened with color. I mean, no offense, but the Catholic Church did not denounce slavery for how long? So what you're saying is they don't, there's different levels. They don't approve of your lifestyle, but they don't approve of any sinner. The whole point of church is to repent. Hayden and I had this conversation today. Your job, $5, Carrie Spricks. Thank you, Carrie. See, I like all these $5 donations. That makes a difference. It makes a difference, y'all. Just a little bit. A little bit helps just every time, man. We just hit it. 20, 30 people, go ahead and drop $5, man. We're right there. So our job is to repent. This is what I told Hayden. Hayden and I were having a conversation. She's refusing to clean her room. And I said, Hayden, damn it. Now I got to take away your phone. We had a talk. I just let you off being grounded. And you told me you were going to clean the room. You're going to clean the bathroom. This is the age-old fight. Why do you have to do this? You can show your independence in any other way, but this is my home. This is my castle, and you're shitting where you eat. And it's unacceptable to me. I give you all the things you have. You have a job now, and I still give you money out of my pocket so you can go get lunch or go to a movie or go to a concert. And I do that because I love you. And you're always like, Dad, can you take $50 out of my savings account so I can go buy a bathing suit? And you know what? That $50 is still in your account. So can you at least understand I'm not trying to buy your love, but what I am trying to do is to have you demonstrate a modicum of respect. So I told her, I said, and it's also interesting, if you take a look at the Bible, what's the number one message in the Bible? And what do you think the most important commandment is? And she's like, well, thou shalt not kill. And I said, I don't know about that. Do you have a reason to kill? And she's like, yes. And I said, you sure do. It's called defense. So is there a difference with killing with malice and killing for your own protection or your sovereignty? And she goes, yeah. I said, okay. What about lying? Do you think lying is never okay? And she's like, well, what do you mean? And he says, well, it's a commandment. Thou shalt not lie. Can you think of a time that lying would be okay? And she goes, well, yeah, if I'm trying to save someone from something that would hurt them much more than a lie would. I said, okay. So but should you still ask for forgiveness? And yeah, okay. And we went through Covet Thy Neighbor's Wife, and we went through the 7 deadly sins, and we, went through it all. Not that we sat and started talking about Dante's Inferno, but I tried to explain to her, just if you look at different cultures, you look at the Buddhist culture, you look at Orthodox, you look at Baptists, you look at Mormons, You look at Arabs, you look at Judaism, they all have a code. And that's right, Riley. Honor thy mother and father, because to dishonor God and repudiate God is a mortal sin. And you're here to do two things. One is to build a relationship with Christ while on earth. And the second thing you are to do is to follow his word and his guidance, and to live the best life that you can have here from a spiritual nature, but to not only build that relationship, but to repent and recognize your limitations as a person who will never be perfect. And the reason why you are not perfect and never will be is because you're a sinner, and that there is an atonement for that. And even though the price is paid, you still have to demonstrate and profess your love to Jesus Christ. That's the only way into heaven. And it's there in black and white, or sepia tone and black, depending upon how old your Bible is. And I said, as you will honor thy Father in heaven, you need to honor thy Father on terra firma too, because this, once again, is the process. And God commands this. And he commands this because the love that he has for you will never be replicated. But if you're going to say something that is as close to it, must be a parent's love for their child. Sandra Casey donated $15. And I think his intent is to bestow upon the matriarch and patriarch the responsibility of that honor from the child, due to the unequivocal love that we have for our children. And although not Christ-like and God-like, if anything would be, it would have to be the love that we have for our kids. And all religion, all people share that. Now, some people really don't give a rat's ass about their kids, but we're talking about not the outliers, but the masses. Thank you so much, Sandra, for that $15. I'll bump this up. We're getting there. Good job. So I tried to help her understand that. And I said, by you not cleaning your room, it's not because it's not clean, because whether it's clean or dirty is immaterial to me. The fact is that you demonstrate the respect that I bestow upon you and the trust that I give you to show that you take me seriously. And the things that I do for you, they need to be repaid. And they don't need to be repaid in sweat and tears and a pound of flesh. But they do need to be demonstrated that you follow my rules, because if you can't follow mine, how will you follow God's? And not that I'm God, but if the love that you know and you've known since you were born, even before you found Christ, if you can't demonstrate that modicum of respect to them, how are you going to profess your love for Jesus when you are disobeying a commandment? And I think that really shook her up, because I think that finally reached her. Plus losing her phone and not being able to see her boyfriend for 2 weeks. So something to think about. Something to think about. You know what I mean? Anyway, kids. Nice to see so many people over on Rumble. Colorado, and the last thing. I have never seen a church say, before we take sacrament, can you please profess your monogamous heterosexualness in front of the church? No, I've heard sharing your testimony. I've heard sharing amongst your neighbor for a brief second before we get into chapter and verse. I've heard professing your love for Christ through worship and song. But I have never heard of, are you a gay or lesbian? Please stand up and wave your hand around in the air like you just don't care. Yeah, that's pretty clear to me. Brian Ellis donated $175. Brian, you are amazing. Happy to be here with you all. Had to evacuate our home on Saturday. Seems like the whole city is on fire. Oh, Brian, God, I'm sorry, Bubba. $266.75. Brian, thank you so much for that. I hope you're okay. I hope your home is okay. What's going on? Can you tell us real quick? God bless you, brother. Thank you for always helping and making it easier for us to hit goal. That means the world to me. And it's not just the money, it's just people's dedication. So thank you. It means the world. Let us know where you're at, buddy. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold.
Since being elected to a second term, Donald Trump has doubled.
Here's Jenna. Surprised she's Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, and I'm surprised she doesn't break out the Communist Manifesto here. Here is the state of Colorado, my beloved state of Colorado. Oh my Lord! Hey, go Astros! Picked up a really good center fielder. Let's hope his glove continues to be a golden one, and let's hope his batting prowess picks up like he did last year, because that's one hell of a bat we picked up. Here is the Grinch, Jenna Griswold.
Since being elected to a second term, Donald Trump has doubled down on his efforts to attack our elections and democracy. There have now been 2 executive orders on elections during his second term, trying to grab power over elections. Luckily, they're largely losing. There's a big potential decision coming up next week on one of these executive orders that we hope we will win. His DOJ is suing many states across the country trying to get sensitive voter data. I told them to take a hike. Luckily, again, the DOJ is losing many of these cases. So we are seeing Trump weaponize the federal government against democracy.
Okay. You're a moron. You're participating in an election. Sorry, guys, this is frustrating me. I'm trying to find out why my video is not playing. And I'm sorry, but it's driving me crazy. Loop video. Start video from beginning. We'll see. You guys, let me know if the dumb show logo isn't up in the top there. Something is weird. I'm running 2 videos. It shouldn't be segmenting like that. The overtime isn't a video. There's nothing running in the background. Sorry, I got to crank this out in my head. I'm only allowed 4 videos streaming, and this one is all the same window. Sorry, hold on. Nope, those 2 are the same. That's the same video, so that wouldn't be doing it. Just keep an eye on it. If it doesn't keep going on when we switch, we'll find out why. Its logo's there now, but when I switched, watch when I go to the videos, we'll see what happens. But the whole point is this, is you're participating in federal elections. You are having an impact on the federal government based upon the state legislation and the Senate. And unfortunately, just because you're a state doesn't mean that you can run roughshod with your election process. And if your voter rolls have dead people on it, if your voter rolls have people who've moved out of the state, if your voter rolls have illegals on it, well, that's what the Federal Election Commission is for. You notice it says Federal Election Commission. So, Brian, if it's in Washington, man, prayers to you. Are you Eastern Washington? Prayers to you, Brian. I hope, man. Just hang in there. I've been in the middle of that. I know what it's like. We were in the Hayman fire in Colorado. Not fun. Not fun at all. So, Sherry? I haven't seen Sherry. Where is Sherry? I haven't heard from her. No. I've not heard from Sherry. She's usually always here, but it could be because we started late. Thanks, guys. My house is standing as far as I know for now. Yeah, Spokane. Oh, dude. Brother, I'm praying for you, man. Like, seriously. Everything I got. Right. If you pay into Social Security and receive benefits, they already have your info. Folks, if you pay taxes, they have your info. If you've bought a house, if you've paid for a loan, if you've applied for a credit card, if you were born after 1981, they already have everything. And it's not like you're like, well, my privacy. Voter rolls aren't private. Voter rolls are shared for a reason. States have databases that share voter rolls. The Federal Election Commission is designed federally to oversee elections. I'm sorry if that it doesn't butter your bread, but those voter rolls are actually responsible for the same rolls that vote for the President of the United States. So the federal government has a right to peep those files. And you holding them against them means that you're just hiding them. But what do you think the federal government's going to do? You really think, okay, tell me the story where people have been deregistered to vote. Show me one story and accredit it. I will show you 100 stories of people doing what would be considered election fraud, from stuffing ballots to having ballot drives to having people fill them out who no longer are living, multiple ballots, duplicate copies. I can show you all that stuff. I'll show you hundreds of those cases. If you can show me one where people are deregistered that was not activated by a move or something else, give me a break. Give me a break. Lee Grantham, good to see you. Ballot harvesting, right. Right. So for her to sit here and say that, oh, this is unconstitutional, Donald Trump is executing his right, he is. The Department of Justice is responsible. Federal Elections Commission is under the DOJ. Yep. Virginia just purged around 6,000 due to illegally there. Yep. I don't get to vote, I guess. I just thought about that. My ballot is on the kitchen table. Brian, you can actually do an absentee ballot because of that reason. If you're displaced by the fire, there's a phone number. If you want me to help you find it, I can find it. Same thing happened to my dad in Colorado, and it was going to happen to us. I don't know why in Virginia. Something happened, and we were unable to vote, and we were looking into how. But you can do an absentee ballot, and that can be sent to you, and there should be time because it's August. You should be okay, buddy. I know there's an election coming up right now, a primary. You may not be able to do, or excuse me, a Republican primary, Democrat primary, but you should be able to get that in there. Let me know, buddy. Okay, enough of that. Men should be in the WNBA. You've got to be kidding me.
I know you don't have the fever again in the regular season, but coming out of the break, one of the big news stories has been Sophie Cunningham and the protests for her and protests against her. And, you know, they had a national televised game today and Cheryl, you know, wore a shirt, and it's just a conversation. I'm wondering just what do you think about it? Do you think that's good for the league? Does it detract?
Brian, then if it's tomorrow and the polling stations are still open, which they should be, they're either going to have to delay the collection of those ballots, which they may do in a state of emergency. I know they did that for the Carolinas, but you can show up in person and vote, brother. So as long as, and a lot of those polling stations probably will be open because they're not in resi, and a lot of those homes are probably residential homes, mountainous homes and stuff, and usually the cities have a pretty good firefighting capability, and unless there's just like a vortex running through the middle of town, you're probably in a good spot. But either way, you should be able to vote, and you could probably vote in another county. In fact, I'm pretty sure the Election Commission will have moved your polling station to another county as well. All of these things are thought of. If you need help from me, let me know, brother, and I will get on the phone for you. All right, buddy. Let me know. Here's the rest of that. Sorry about that.
From the basketball? Is it just noise? I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
I think, thank you for that question. I think just in terms of how I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing.
No, it's not. No, sports are not about inclusivity. Sports are not about body positivity. Sports are not about everyone wins a trophy. Sports are meritocracy. And inside the team, there is also a game being played of who the best players are to vie for the positions. There is a game before the game. There is a competition before the competition, and a hierarchy established based upon meritocracy, not on skill set, not on potential, not even on lack thereof. And even a fat guy can do really, really well if he can smash 420 every time he goes to plate. If his slugging percentage is 1,300, I don't care how fat he is. I don't care how slow he is. You put that guy on the plate every single day. That's based on meritocracy. Skill set is immaterial. The color of your skin is immaterial. In fact, it's the most diverse place you can possibly frickin' have because it's not inclusive. Listen to what I said. It's the most diverse place you could have because it's not inclusive. Because it bases everything on your ability to perform. So that is naturally going to have people of color. It's going to have people who are lesbians and gays and people who believe in God and people who don't, people who are rich, people who are poor. It's not about your personal feelings. It's about what you can do. And don't give me a freaking example that if Michael Jordan was playing on the high school team, that any coach in the world is going to bench him because he's black. You know what? This is the greatest player I've ever seen in my life. You know what? I'm going to bench him. I'm going to bench Michael Jordan. 286, Dana Christensen, helping carry the load. Dana, thank you. God bless you. We're almost there, folks. $14 away. Gosh, it's good to be on tonight. I'm glad I came on. Thank you. But this is called meritocracy. And meritocracy brings out the best in everybody. But the military is a selective service, and so are sports. And inclusivity is not. There's no coach in the world who goes, God, we're playing basketball and we don't have enough people who are 5 foot. I need 5 foot white guys. Where am I going to find that demographic? 5 foot white guys. Hey, where's the one-legged black lesbian Jew? Is she, oh, there's she. Come here. You're my point guard. Get over here. Been waiting for you. Are there any furries represented? Oh, hey, mascot, bulldog, come here. Get in. Here you go. Here's the ball. Go shoot some hoops. Can I take off the helmet? No, you got to be a furry. Get the fuck over there. Leave your helmet on. You're not going to make this team if you're not a furry. I'll tell you that much. Give me a break. None of it is inclusive. I'll tell you what. I tried out for the baseball team. My dad was a coach, and I get a fly ball hit to me. I'm in center field. Never caught a ball in my life. Never. Played catch with a tennis ball, never with a hard ball. And that thing came up, and somehow it smacked me in the fucking belly button. And it was a pop fly. Don't ask me. It missed my head. It missed my nose. It missed my chin. It missed my chest. And it smacked me right in the belly button. I went down like a sack of potatoes. I got up and I said, nope, not playing this sport ever again. And I never played a lick of baseball ever again. I tried out for the football team. I became the manager. I was short, fat, and slow. Then I got to 6'4", 225, joined the military, and played rugby and ice hockey. Go figure. But I was a late bloomer, and I was small, and I was slow, and I was fat, and I was an idiot. And I could not play sports. And then I started playing sports, and I got much better. But the point is, nobody came to me and goes, hey, come here, retarded, fat, slow white guy. Why don't you get over here and be my designated hitter? No, they said, you suck. Speer, you're not going to be on this team. Go try the freaking retard kickball team across the way. That's the way it is. But now, if you're a guy who thinks he's a woman, you have mental delusion, it's all about inclusivity. Give me a break. These people are retarded.
Everyone to be their authentic self. I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I've been in those you shouldn't belong here many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
Oh my God. You know what? You deserved every racist joke that was thrown your way. You deserved every lesbian joke. You deserved every height joke. You deserved. You earned it. You earned it. What a retarded statement. Little girls and women, and that includes trans men. You mean men. Don Bradley, $15. Let's hit goal. Well, guess what, Don Bradley? Your wish is my command because we just hit goal. Yes, we do believe in miracles. And the question was just posed to me, Matt, I'm 4'10". Can I play basketball? Not well. Overtime and a bomb dropped. Outstanding. Earned it through DEI technically. Now everyone gets participation trophy. Here's what it comes down to. Being your authentic self means stop pretending that you're a chick with a dick. That's not authentic. Your authentic self is who God designs you to be. You're a dude. You'll always be a dude. I don't care how much you lop off. I don't care how many chemicals you put in your body. I don't care how great your tits are. And let's be honest, there's some great looking transgender women out there. I'm not going to lie. It's trickery. It's hard to tell sometimes. And you see a picture and you're like, oh, really, and they try to trick you on Twitter. Oh yeah, it's so uncool. And I'm like, I don't know, a few beers, I might, no? Okay. The point is, it doesn't matter. I don't care how pretty you are. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. Yes, you can. Of course you can. You can do whatever you want with your subjective truth, but it doesn't make it objective no matter how much you object. Objective truth doesn't mean you complaining and objecting about it, that it's unfair. Life isn't fair. Life sucks sometimes. Deal with it. I'm sorry you don't have a vagina and boobs. You never will. You're not a girl. Maybe in your next life. Maybe you can go ahead and ask Santa Claus. Because you obviously believe in him because you believe you have a dick and you're a woman. You believe you can get pregnant. You're not. You don't deserve to play with women. Honestly, the WNBA doesn't deserve to have a league. They're shit. And the only thing that's great about that league is Caitlin Clark and Sophia Cunningham. But the interesting thing, it's not because they're white. It's just because you guys are so freaking hateful towards them because they're white. And it just makes us root for them. It's literally a reverse OJ. You guys know OJ was guilty. Black people know OJ was guilty. Everyone knew OJ was guilty, but you didn't give a shit. You just wanted to screw over the white man. And I can respect it. Dude, I'm like Sophia Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, just dunk all over them bitches. Because honestly, if you were just so inclusive and so caring and so open and free, you would accept them for who they are and just realize they're better than you. But you can't possibly stand that. And instead of playing harder and bettering yourself, you've decided to be a bunch of thugs, which is what you are. The WNBA is shit. It doesn't deserve to have a league. It's subsidized by the NBA. $40 million annually? That is a suckhole. Nobody cares. And the only reason why your sport sells out is when Caitlin Clark and the Fever are in town with Sophia Cunningham, and you have to get secondary arenas. You can't even play in your home arenas because you can't even house enough people. A lot of your teams make payroll because you clowns have Sophia and Caitlin coming into your towns, and you're gonna castigate them out? That's retarded. So don't give me this inclusivity BS. Give me a break. Give me a break. You want to impress me? Have the women's team beat a high school male basketball team. And I will buy season tickets to the WNBA. You take any high school team, I don't care who. It could be the Indiana Hoosier or what were they? What was it in what was the one with Gene Hackman? Hoosiers. Yeah, the Indiana Hoosiers. Take that high school, 5 players, 6 players. If someone gets a sprained ankle, the Water Boys playing, and they would spank any women's basketball team. A high school basketball team will beat every single female basketball team on the planet. Bet me. You can take all the all-stars from all the world. You can take the greatest players all over the world who are female and put them on a team, and a high school basketball team will spank the shit out of them. I will give the women 30 points, and they'll still lose. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You don't have the range. You don't have the strength. You don't have the physicality under the boards. You're never going to get an offensive or defensive rebound. You're going to miss every jump ball. Your 3-pointers are going to be completely swatted out of the fucking air. You telegraph your jumps. You don't have the quickness, the stamina, the speed. You don't have the dribbling capability. You can't move a frickin' power forward if you need to. You're not going to be able to break through any screen. You're not going to be able to plant your feet properly, because when you do, you're going to get knocked from here to kingdom fucking come. Every single woman's team will get just completely destroyed. Destroyed by high school team. Hell, I'll even throw you up one. You can take the greatest female hockey players all over the world, and you take the average high school hockey team in Minnesota, in Detroit, in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and you go ahead and you stick them on the ice, and guess what? Those women are going to lose by 20 goals. 20 goals. You'll literally be picking up chiclets from getting smashed face into the boards. You'll get cross-checked into the frickin' bleachers. Your jock, which you won't be wearing unless you're a guy pretending to be a woman, will be knocked off of you. You'll be able to taste what your neighbor had for lunch. I'm just letting you know. There is no sport in the world that men would lose to women at that isn't about flexibility. Because that's the only thing that women can do better than men, is contortion. And they're fantastic because they're designed to stretch their body past its limits due to childbirth. And if you look at floor exercises for women, they're completely different than men. And more than likely, but I'm sure there's got to be some gay guys out there that are just like, you, that can take their ankle and literally like lick it by throwing it over their head. Maybe there are, but that's probably the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, there is no sport on the planet that women will lose compared to a man. There isn't. Maybe something where there's a possibility, like a mechanical system that does the work for you, like a bow and arrow or a competition shooting rifle. Maybe. Because it's balanced at that point. But if it's biathlon, fucking forget it. Forget it. You're going to lose in the cross-country portion. I don't care how well you shoot. You're not going to be able to compete with a man. But if you want to do archery, maybe. But also it's different. Because even with a bow that compensates for your pull strength, men are going to deliver that arrow faster. It's going to have less of an arc. It's going to have a faster trajectory. It's going to have better accuracy. And you can pulley that thing out, and you can put less tension on that pole to be compensated for a woman, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to deliver with the efficacy a man can. I'm sorry. It's not personal. I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. And I hope people aren't leaving the show because like, Matt's a sexist. No, I'm just honest. Just saying. Yeah, upper body on the strength of males on a longbow. I know. Rifle competition, maybe, but as long as you don't do the cross-country portion. Ice skating. Give me a break. Loretta says, I can lick my ankles. I love you, Loretta. Will you marry me? Underwater basket weaving. Maybe. Okay. Here's a good one. Freitas with Leviticus. This is why I love Nick Freitas. Watch this.
One of my favorite Bible verses is Leviticus 19:33, and it says, when a foreigner resides among you, you shall love them as yourself. Do you agree with this Bible verse?
Yeah.
If you agree with this Bible verse, why is this country and I so violently deporting and detaining our immigrants, or some might not even be immigrants?
Sovereignty?
Do you think a country should have borders?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. If we have borders, which is obviously a political and legal line of demarcation between the citizens of our country and the people of other countries, do you think we should also have an immigration policy which articulates how we secure those borders and what is the legal mechanism to be able to come into our country or to become a citizen?
I believe so, yes, but I believe that we should enforce a safe one, and when that isn't so, I guess, hard for people to be legal citizens, and when even they aren't, to be so, I guess, violently taken away or kept in basically like a modern day concentration camp.
So I think you and I could find common ground on what's the best policy to come up with, to the extent that we're going to have immigration policy, because the penalty for crossing the border illegally is deportation. And so the question is how do we do that in the most humane way possible?
Exactly.
And I think we could have a robust conversation and probably find a lot of common agreement on what that might look like. But I think it would be wrong to say that it's immoral or anti-Christian to say that we have a border, we have immigration laws, and if you break the law or you trespass into our country, we do have a right to deport you. So I don't think that in and of itself is immoral or anti-Christian.
Let's also consider this. That's the thing you hear all the time is it's a misdemeanor. No, it's a federal crime. Just because the qualification of the crime itself is a misdemeanor, it's still a federal crime. And understand that is only on the first offense. The second time you come across the border, which most of these people, it's a case of recidivism, it's a felony in every case. If you cross the border illegally once and you are documented as done that and you have been caught and sent back and you come back again, it's a felony. So I love when they're like, oh, it's just a misdemeanor. Do you understand that there's some assault cases that are downplayed to a misdemeanor? Do you understand deliberating to the delinquency of a minor is also a misdemeanor? Is that not serious? You make it sound like everything's jaywalking. Do you know there's certain forms of larceny that are misdemeanors? Do you know if it doesn't reach a prerequisite that strong arm robbery and also theft can also be a misdemeanor? I mean, you can sit here and excuse it away, but either we're a nation of laws or we don't follow the laws. I love Nick's point here.
Christian.
Okay.
Really what we need to talk about is, okay, what is the mechanics of deporting people?
Yeah.
And we say, like, why does it have to be so violent? Well, so if someone's in the country illegally, and let's just say for argument's sake, you believe that we have a legal right to deport them because they have trespassed. The question is, how do we go about doing that? Well, if somebody says, golly gee willikers, you caught me, and they hold out their hands and we deport them, then I think that, I don't think anybody should beat them or treat them badly. I think it should just be a quick process of, okay, here's your plane ticket or, here's the border or whatever it is, but you have to leave now because you're trespassing. But what if somebody violently resists or somebody resists arrest or they go somewhere else or they try to obstruct justice? Again, I don't believe in actively using violence to achieve the objective, but if you're going to get into a conflict with law enforcement, of course law enforcement has to resort to violence in order to arrest you and then deport you. So the choice for violence is not purely the choice of law enforcement. If you resist law enforcement, you're also engaging in either an act of violence or you're increasing the probability that violence will be necessary in order to enforce the law.
This is why I want to get Nick, Leroy, and I in the same room, because it's not that Nick is an exceptional debater. It's that Nick actually addresses their questions. See, it's not hard to do this. You notice when people come on the show and they debate me, which is few and far between, or they come on and try to debate, I don't debate them. I have a conversation with them. The first thing I say, slow down. Where are you from? What's your name? Who are you? Because you're not going to change my mind unless I like you. And the same is true with you with me. This is a basic prerequisite of how to win over friends and influence people. You influence people by them actually liking you because they respect your opinion. And if they don't, they'll never change their mind about you. They'll never change their mind about what you're talking about. So debate's useless. Like, I would love to get Andrew Wilson on here and say, dude, why do you debate people versus have a conversation? And Andrew would probably say, well, I do have conversations with some people, but there's other people who just want to debate me and I don't shy away from that. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. You talk to people who will never change their mind. And there's much better ways to reach your audience is by having someone who's receptive to a good faith argument, because Andrew Wilson can't stand people who don't have good faith arguments. I'm really thinking of inviting him on the show, and I think he'll come. I really do. He reminds me of that person. I just have to ask a very provocative, but a curious question. It's got to be a little provocative. It can't just be, what's your favorite color? But it's got to be, Andrew, I'm really curious on your position on this. And here's where I disagree with you. Can we have a conversation about it? I bet he would come on. He just reminds me of that guy who would do that. But anyway, love Nick Freitas' take. Trophy husband. Olivia sent this to me. I have no idea what it is. Let's watch.
One of the greatest luxuries in life is being married to the handy guy. Not yacht or private jet rich. I'm talking about a level of wealth that is way more realistic. The dryer starts making a weird noise and your husband goes, let me take a look at it. That is wealth. Because you know what I do when something breaks. I immediately start calculating how much money it's going to cost to fix it. My husband hears a strange noise and he gets excited. Excited. Like the appliance just challenged him to a duel. That man will spend $47 on parts, watch one YouTube video from a guy named Rick in Iowa, disappear into the garage for 3 hours, and somehow save us $1,200. It's unbelievable. And handy husbands don't just fix things, they know things. Things that no normal person should know. This man knows the inner workings of every appliance, vehicle, outlet, pipe hinge, and mysterious thing in our house. The best part is the confidence, because I have never seen a handy husband look at a problem and think, maybe I should hire a professional. No, he is the professional. So marry the handy guy, because one day your house is gonna make a noise, and instead of panic, you'll hear the most comforting words a woman could hear. I know it's wrong.
I wish I could say I was that guy. I'm that guy in see, here's the thing is I'm very self-aware and I understand my limitations. And like the plumbing issue, I knew exactly what I had to do. And I analyzed the problem. I'd never done any plumbing before in my life. And I took out the plumbing main. I took off the trap. I shut off all the valves. I redirected all the hoses. I disconnected the garbage disposal. I took the garbage disposal apart. I flushed the line. I sent air pressure out through the line to try to dislodge the leak. I did it all. And then I realized that I needed to snake out the line. And I realized that that was past my skill set. And I made a conscientious choice. Do I get a snake stuck into the main line? And then now I've got a $5,000 dig to do in the backyard with a backhoe. Or do I stop here, reassess, and weigh the options of what's more expensive? I think she's right. Handyman's important, but I think also a handyman who understands his limitations is also important, because I've seen some handy men in the construction business do some serious damage to their house because they didn't understand what their limitations were. I'm all for it. This is how we built this studio. I didn't know how to do any of this shit. A lot of it I looked up online. And the electrical, I didn't do. I had no desire to fish that stuff through the walls and the ceiling. None. Nope, I didn't. Nope, no way. But otherwise, everything else. Mounted every TV, hung every light, run every cable, built the desk, built the wall, ran all the lighting and electrical to that wall, put up all the boards, painted all the ceiling, installed all the top LED lights, everything. Hung the barn doors, made the barn doors, painted the barn doors. Everything you see in here, we did. And there were times where I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you should also know your limitations. That's all. So I don't know what Olivia's point is. Let's find out. Hey, Liv. Let's find out why she put it there. And by the way, I'm handy in a different way. What was up with showing the handy video? People want to know.
I thought it was freaking funny because of the freaking sink blowing up twice in the last week.
Oh, yeah. The second time it blew up, I fixed it. The second time I fixed it.
And because you do try.
It's not try. I'm pretty successful in just about everything we do, but there are some things I just won't do. Like, I'm not going to go ahead and replace the thermostat in the air conditioner. I'm not going to screw with a $10,000 appliance and screw something up. There's too many opportunities for that to go wrong.
But you fixed what you can and you know what
you can. Yeah, I know my limits, and it saves us money in the end versus buying insurance. Instead of buying insurance, it's completely worthless. Moving on, a little bit of tension in the Speer household today. But I'm handsy. Is there a difference between handy and handsy? Hell, my high school wrestling team sparred our basketball team and kicked their ass. That's good stuff. All right. Carville versus Piker. James Carville is going to leave the Democratic Party. James, you're going to leave the Democratic Party soon anyway. You're like 106. Nobody cares. They don't care about us boomers, dude. I'm not even a boomer. You're a boomer. Nobody gives a shit about you, bro. Like, Carville, you've been irrelevant. I understand what you did for Clinton. It was amazing. You got some country bumpkin hick to win the Democratic primary and become the de facto president of the United States. It was incredible. And you are an amazing political strategist. Were an amazing political strategist. Here's Carville on Piker.
Analyst there is, and I'm not sure what to understand what Mamdani is doing, but to talk about the larger Democratic Party post the election in Michigan going forward, I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party with that guy.
Then you better leave, dude.
I think that overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with me. But this idea that we're going to seize the means of production and just go look at the DSA platform. You don't have to look any further than that. And, Jackie, it may be that the two-party system is just going to be under tremendous stress here in the coming months. I mean, you see it in with Tucker and Martin Taylor Greene and on the Republican side. You see it going on right now. And I can't sit here and tell you for certain how this is going to turn out. But the one thing I can tell you for certain, Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party. One of us is going to leave. It might even be me.
We're going to have.
Right. Nobody cares, dude. And Hassan Piker is mainstream in your party. That's why you're talking about him. If James Carville is talking about Hassan Piker is, I'll give you the best quote from Bill Clinton and James Carville. When the opposition, I can't remember who it was, but there was a Democrat that came in, I want to say Tsongas, against Clinton. And Tsongas, the opponent who was running against Clinton, I can't remember where he was from. It doesn't matter. Maybe Ohio. I don't know. It's been a long time. But essentially what happened is that he mentioned this guy he mentioned Tsongas. And Carville's reaction to that was, what is this stupid son of a bitch actually mention Tsongas' name? He's got to be the dumbest bastard in the world to actually give credibility to Tsongas. And he just elevated him in the public's eye as a legitimate contender. Well, that was stupid. If you're talking about Hassan Piker, take your own advice. You're giving him air, and he is de facto the leader of your party because you're actually talking about him and you've applied that moniker to him. And people are now going to say, who's Hassan Piker? And they're going to listen to you and they're going to listen to Hassan Piker. And honestly, you both have the exact same delivery. Angry, completely disconnected dipshits. So I don't know, brother. I don't know what you're doing, but Carville, I don't know what party you're going to belong to, but it's the Democrat Party left you a long time ago. This is not Bill Clinton's Democrat Party. This is not Blue Dog Democrat. These people are absolutely far left progressives who are flirting with socialism and completely acceptable to hit communism in their eyes. I mean, these people want to defund the police. They want to open the borders. They want to give away free this, free that. They want to go ahead and punish larger businesses. They want to overtax billionaires. These people are insane. They want to mutilate our children. They want to go ahead and brainwash our kids. Give me a break. These people are nuts. They're absolutely nuts. Here's an example as RFK absolutely cooks CNN. Folks, we are sitting at 301.76. Thank you for letting us hit goal. Good way to start off the month. 31 over on Rumble. Just getting killed on Facebook. YouTube's really solid for us. Facebook has sucked for 3 months now. We went from 120 to 110 a night to 47. The show hasn't gotten worse. It's gotten better. Not sure what's going on except that it's Facebook. Here's RFK cooking CNN.
You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it is
like a parrot. You're repeating
So are
it
you.
like a parrot.
So
I've
are you.
actually read the science. Let's you
don't
and I
wanna-
come
you don't
back
wanna-
here and debate the
So
science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you are.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine.
Right.
About the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is
Am I allowed to talk?
The American
yes,
public.
yes. And my job is to get as much information as I can. And what we were doing,
skepticism.
What we were doing in COVID and still, with regard to these vaccines, is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing information to be out there that is not accurate.
Who was lying to
the national?
Come on. It was working. Come on. We had it working. Come on now. Oh, you bastards.
Analyst there is. You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country.
All right. CNN buried the stories on Wuhan. CNN buried the stories, or promoted the stories on Russian collusion. Completely lied when it came to good people on both sides. They propagated and aggrandized Michael Avenatti and Stormy Daniels as heroes. Avenatti's in jail, by the way. They gave Brennan, Tapper, and Comey all paid positions at CNN as consultants. They buried the Hunter Biden laptop story. These people completely said that hydrochloroquine and ivermectin, they absolutely tied it to the heart dewormer and said people are taking horse dewormer and not explaining that these have been used for many other purposes outside of veterinary care. They chest tap people, which wind up creating more of a conflict with their breathing and incapability of breathing. There were multiple nurses and doctors telling them and arguing against the science. They changed the masks. They changed the social distancing. They changed how many vaccines you were supposed to get, how many you weren't supposed to get, how many boosters you were supposed to get, different variations. They said, and all of them, that we were the enemy and people who were unvaccinated, we deserved what was going to happen to us. All the stations, all the channels. They had a death ticker running for Trump, but not for Biden. Biden had more people die under COVID than President Trump, yet they didn't run a death ticker for him. These people are state-run media. They are propaganda. They are paid and bought. And I'm not saying Fox News isn't. I don't listen to either of these people. I don't listen to the right or left when it comes to mass media. I go to the places that I know are going to be as impartial as they can. All Sides Balance is one of them. Stratfor is another I'm going to go to. ProPublica, surprisingly enough, has some really good stuff if you can sift through some of the garbage. But it's absolutely ridiculous for them to sit here and pretend that they are completely not the enemy of the people. This is how, and when I knew they were liars. Listen to this. Chicks on the right, and I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Fauci, do protests increase the spread of the virus?
Do protests increase the spread of the virus? I think I can make a general statement.
Well, 500,000 protesters on June 6th alone.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, that number of people, does it increase the spread of the virus?
Crowding together, particularly when you're not wearing a mask, contributes to the spread of the virus.
Should we limit the protesting?
I'm not sure what you mean. How do we say limit the protesting?
Should government limit the protesting?
I don't think that's relevant to.
Well, you just said if it increases the spread of the virus. I'm just asking, should we limit it?
Well, I'm not in a position to determine what the government can do in a forceful way.
Well, you make all kinds of recommendations. You
No.
make comments on dating, on baseball, on everything
No.
you can imagine. I'm just asking you just said
Yeah.
that protests increase the spread.
No.
I'm just asking you, should we try to limit the protests?
No, I think I would leave that to people who have more of a position to do that. I can tell you.
Government
that-
stopping people from going to church, Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
Last week in the Calvary Chapel case, 5 liberals on the Supreme Court said it was okay for Nevada to limit church services. Justice Gorsuch said it best. He said, there's no world in which the Constitution permits Nevada to favor Caesar's Palace over Calvary Chapel. I'm just asking, is there a world where the Constitution says you can favor one First Amendment liberty, protesting, over another, practicing your faith?
I'm not favoring anybody over anybody. I'm just making a statement that's a broad statement that avoid crowds of any type, no matter where you are, because that leads to the acquisition and transmission. And I don't judge one crowd versus another crowd. When you're in a crowd, particularly if you're not wearing a mask, that induces the spread.
It's a simple question, doctor. Should we limit the protests? Government is obviously limiting people going to church. And look, there's been no violence that I can see at church. I haven't seen people during a church service go out and harm police officers or burn buildings. But we know that, for 63 days, 9 weeks, it's been happening in Portland.
Right. Yeah.
Well, one night in Chicago, 49 officers were injured, but no limit to protests. But boy, you can't go to church on Sunday.
I don't know how many times I can answer that. I'm not going to opine on limiting anything. I'm just going to tell you.
You've opined on a lot.
Yeah,
of
but
things.
we know that it's bullshit, and we know he opined on it. Don't you remember what he said about Republicans? Republicans don't like to do what they're told to do what they're told, and we have to find a way to change that. This guy absolutely made this political, and it became a statement. Do you want to know why I didn't get the vaccine? I've had every vaccine known to man. I walked down a line in the military, and I was shot 27 different times in my ass, in my shoulders, in my back of my arms, my triceps, in the love handles, everywhere. You want to know why I wouldn't wear a mask? You want to know why I didn't get the vaccine? Do you want to know why I walked into places and I just was like, walked in and they're like, sir, you need to put a mask. I said, you can go fuck yourself. Show me in your rules and guidelines to this establishment that masks are necessary to wear. Sir, it's COVID. It's a trying time. Yeah, you guys tried that shit in 9/11 when a guy would grab my crotch and made me take off all my belt and my pants and everything else with a 3-level fusion and literally had to have him stick his fist up my colon. And I listened to it because of Arabs in 9/11. And that shit's a complete lie. Because you don't stop anything from happening. It's the illusion of security. And this mask is an illusion of security. Sir, you don't have to shop here anymore. Don't worry, I fucking won't. And I left. You want to know why I didn't do any of those things? I'll tell you, real simple. Really, really simple. Here it is. Because they made it political and I chose a side. And I was willing to die than to get that fucking jab and let these people tell me and force me to do so. Wasn't going to do it. Because I saw my friends and nurses and military friends who were being forced to do it. And they all said the same thing, but they didn't have the courage to do it. And I wasn't working in a place that required it. So I said, no, I refuse. I won't do it. And you're not going to make me do it. The funny thing is that there were a couple corporations that we were trying to work with. And my boss, I got to give Brian Bauer some credit. He basically said, they said, you want to come in and advertise with them? We wanted to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with them a month. They said, you have to get vaccinated. Brian's like, fuck you. No way. We're not doing it. They wanted to do a TV spot and they wanted us to get vaccinated. We said, no, I'm not going to do it. It became political. And because it became political, I no longer trusted the science. Oh, I didn't trust the political science. But the actual science and the data that I had said completely opposite of what they were selling. And that's from Houston Methodists and 7,000 different cases with 700,000 points of data where they sent out complete list and emails to their entire staff. And I got a copy of this from a leaker where it showed the efficacy of people with vaccine who are in the ICU and not. Don't you remember what they said? You have a 98% chance of going into ICU if you get COVID. And you have a 15% chance of going in if you get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Don't go into ICU. Well, that's not what the numbers in Houston Methodist said. Actually, it said 18% of the people who get COVID go into ICU, and only 15%, that number was true, who are vaccinated don't. It was a 3% margin. They lied. They forced nurses who were breastfeeding to get vaccines. They fired friends of ours, and that leaker, I showed that, and guess what? I got banned from YouTube, 2 weeks later? 2 weeks later with having empirical exculpatory evidence of them lying in one of the largest hospitals in America. One of the large 700,000 cases they went ahead and administered in Houston. That's how I knew they were lying. It's shit. Folks, my video ain't working. I don't understand why. I gotta go fix it. Ever since I changed it. See, now I have to turn it on, see? I gotta play it. I shouldn't have to play it. It should autoplay. Something's going on. I gotta figure out what's going on. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Yeah. Here is Scamdus, all of her lies on a timeline. Enjoy this because this is good. Folks, we're at 301.76. You might be wondering, why are we going until 9:30? Well, we started late. We didn't start till almost 8 o'clock. I am going to have to stop right before 10 because my daughter will be here. I'll make it up for you tomorrow. But we're still going to finish the show. We've got about another 20 minutes left. I just want to let you know. But if you're interested in helping out the show, you can stop by to thedumbshow.com, pick up some shirts, some hats, some coffee, all that. We have the Scamdus shirt there. We also have coffee and books and a whole bunch of other things. Jackets and flag are going out tomorrow for our winners. Friday, we are going to have the drawing, which is great. Damani will be here for it. Wednesday, we'll have a dual cast. One is going to be in-house with Tyler the Fish. And then at around 8 o'clock, we're going to move over to Olivia in Front Royal and find out what's going on there live. And so we'll have Olivia and Hayden on the ground. It'll be fun. Here is Scamdus and her lies timeline. Oh, and if you have a chance, if you could go to thedumbshow.com/donate, it helps out the show. Doesn't matter if it's $5, $10. Any bit helps. And even if we hit the 300, it's still nice. Remember, we take that money, 300, because that's kind of the minimum of what we need. Anytime we overdrive, we really appreciate it. It helps out the show. So please continue to show your support if you can. Scamdus lies timeline. Here it is.
Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright. He wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself. And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our on-stage reunion could happen. Whether or not Charlie's assassination was meant to distract us from the Brigitte Macron investigation. And rightfully so. That is a fair question. Because as you guys know, it was Charlie Kirk that called me and told me that they wanted me to stop speaking about Brigitte. What the hell was Charlie Kirk doing in Korea? If I had to today give you my best guess as to why Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Lie.
It's because an offer came to him to become the next moon. And you just turn the other way. Don't ask questions about where the money's coming from or how you're getting the money. Just keep things afloat. Because, why not? If Moon could help the CIA traffic in the name of the Lord, why couldn't Charlie Kirk's organization do that? I think this is what Charlie Kirk turned down. And the one person who stood between America's involvement with a full-scale war in Iran was Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old. He's the person that's stopping us from getting what we want. It is my personal belief that is the very reason that they colluded to have that obstacle eventually removed. Was Charlie Kirk murdered by the state, the deep state, to protect Epstein's global trafficking network? Is it fair to ask if it's plausible that when Charlie was taken to the Hamptons, the phone call no one wants to address from Bibi Netanyahu, is it fair to ask the question if it was literally supposed to be me who was supposed to be back on tour with Charlie? Did he say no to killing Candace Owens?
And the saga continues. The spin out of Candace Owens. Just, sis, he called you a demon. There's not much recovery from that. It's not like one day you're a demon and then you're like, I kind of miss the demon. No, there was no reunion. Turning Point USA, like everybody, completely disavowed you because you are a nutter. You've always been a nutter. You made your claim to fame hating black people as a black person. That's what made you unique. You're not unique. There are plenty of African Americans who speak out against their own culture now, and they're Republican. Larry Elder is a great example. Damani Felder calls out black people all the time. Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum does it. There's plenty who do it. You're no longer unique. So you had to go ahead and find the only shtick you could, which was saying Macron's wife had a dick. And then when that didn't work, you went after Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. And when that didn't work, you decided to go after Jews. And when that didn't work, you went after Charlie's killer, who you said was everybody and their mother. Now you're just spinning your wheels. Because, lady, for freaking over a year, you've told us it's an exploding mic. And now it's a trained assassin? What happened to the B cult? What happened to Britney Spears? What happened to the CIA? What happened to Kash Patel, Dan Bongino? I mean, God, come on, lady. You're just an idiot. The one true, absolute fact is this. If Candace Owens was even remotely close to being correct in any of her assertions, the defense would have called her. They didn't. They've never used a damn thing from her. And they don't want her anywhere near the trial. Do you think someone of her stature could get in? Why isn't she reporting? This is her best friend, her best friend. His trial. Shouldn't she be there? Shouldn't she be sitting there staring daggers into Tyler Robinson? No, because then she wouldn't be able to make $300,000 an episode. The woman is a piece of shit. Sorry for the language. Here's a Dearborn, trapdoor. It's on here. We've got it on here on the retard shirt. It's right down here. Ooh, over on the R. Yep. I know. I can't believe it's been a year either. It's crazy. It's crazy. Here's a Dearborn grocery store.
If you were to do grocery shopping here in Dearborn, this is what you would see. In my 2 years of reporting on the ground, this is the most shocking footage that I have ever taken. Our country is becoming unrecognizable. I will play this footage without commentary and let you experience it as I did.
Oh, that lens angle is going to make me sick, man. You don't use a fisheye lens. Come on. This goes on and on. Let me explain something. I don't give a shit if there's Arabs in a town. Chinatown's the same way, okay? It's no big deal. There's towns who are Jewish. That's cool. No problem. Don't care. Go down to any major inner city and tell me what color you see. It's fine. The only difference is that Jews and Japanese people and Koreans and Chinatown and, well, most of the inner cities, they're not trying to murder me. They're not trying to replace our culture. They're not trying to destroy America from within, and they don't find us to be infidels who all deserve to die if we don't embrace their language and their beliefs. Yeah, sorry, there's a big difference. So, although I completely understand that there are communities that are predominantly Arab, there's some actually in Colorado. They were great. Alibaba's one of my favorite restaurants to go to. Some of the best food I ever had. They had a Greek restaurant and an Arab restaurant right next to each other. Some of the best hummus, some of the best baklava you've ever had or baklava that you've had in your life. But what they weren't doing is waging war against each other. They weren't literally sending RPGs and clacking off vests in each other's restaurants. No, I'm okay. I don't want any of that shit. I don't want any of it. So we can sit here and pretend that it's the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Commies and Muslims, I'm sorry, they're not compatible with Western civilization. We've proven that. That's why we declared ourselves completely apart from it. And from the days of the Barbary pirates all the way up until 9/11, we understand that terrorism and Arabs and Muslims do not mix well with Western civilization. They don't like Christians. They don't like America. And they don't like Jews. And those three things are synonymous, whether you want it or not, because if you're a Christian, you understand that Judeo-Christianity is a real thing. And it doesn't mean you have to be loyal to Israel. It just means you need to understand is that the Bible that you're reading and the person that you're praying to and the person you've devoted your life to and love to, Jesus Christ, is a Jew. And you can sit here and say it's not a real Jew. It's not an Anacod's a European Jew. It's not ancient Judea Jew. You're just making up excuses. Jesus Christ was a Jew. And it doesn't matter whether somebody has 40% Jew or 60% Jew or 9% Jew in their blood. They're Jewish. And it doesn't matter that they fled from Europe, because if it wasn't for 1830 and 1863 and the Romans completely exiling them from their land, you wouldn't have had the mass immigration into Europe. But you did. And there were still 9% Jews held over in Palestine. And they came back and reclaimed their land. Whether you care about that or not is immaterial. It's what happened. And if they would like to go ahead and exfil the Jews, good luck. Joseph, may I call you? I got about 12 minutes, buddy. Is it going to be a quick one? If it's a quick one. Oh, off topic? Sure, man. You can call me. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Dial it in. Dial it up. Dial it up, bud. It's got to be a couple minutes, though, because I got to finish the show. And I got to go be with my family. And then I got a couple of other videos to show. All right, while you're finding the number, I'm going to go ahead and show Baron Coleman. This is the guy who, it's an exploding mic. Well, he's changed. Yeah, Joseph, call me, man. I worked for Comcast. Yes, I did. Call me. Here's Baron Coleman, the guy who thought about the exploding mic. Oh, no, you're calling. Joseph, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, anyways, I know you work for Comcast.
Yeah.
And now it's Comcast Xfinity.
Yeah.
Anyways, scam happened to me, and you probably don't have time, but maybe next time I'll just call and talk about it.
Okay.
It's unbelievable,
what happened?
Story. So
what happened?
I guess, basically I ordered, let me tell you, I upgraded my phone to an iPhone 17 Plus.
Okay.
And got the iWatch and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
They sent it out, and then I got a call saying the iPhone was compromised. There was a bad battery, and the memory board was screwed up. So you need to send it back. So then I got a call the next, within an hour or two.
Okay.
And then they gave me information. Well, we're going to send a FedEx driver come get it. So they did, like a day later.
Okay.
Then I looked at the label, and I took a picture of it. It was to Donald Green, 2121 West Hood Avenue, Apartment 1, Chicago, Illinois, 60659. That's where I was sending my iPhone to, and the iWatch. So I don't know how the heck they get that information.
Because someone, when they ran a check on you, when somebody ran a check on you, they didn't verify the overall phone number, and they pulled up the first name that came up, and some asshole put it on the wrong account, I would assume.
Well, then I got a call today from one of the, sounded like Indian descent,
right.
Dot,
Yeah.
And she's like, did you mail off your phone and so forth? I'm like, you know what? Don't ever call me again and just forget about it. But look at it. How do they get information? You worked at Comcast. There's security levels, right? But could they have someone there that works there and just filters out, like, use an iPhone going out there or
no,
whatever?
No. The reason why is you're in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
So no. The reason why is divisions. So there's the Mountain West Division, there's the Northeast Division, the South Division, the Southeast Division, Western Division, and then there's Central. So Minnesota is in a different division. You guys are actually in the Northeast Division with New York and Virginia and everybody else. And Chicago is in the Midwest, and they're under a different group. So those distribution centers would need to be working in cahoots, and the chances of that are probably 0 to none. What it sounds like is the person who took your order was probably overseas. They got your name.
Yep.
Maybe what they said is, "Oh, I can't find it under that phone number. Can you give me your name or email?" You did that, and they pulled up the wrong account. That's what it sounds like to me. Do you need me to get involved?
I don't know. I mean, it was like, so anyways, what happened, Matthew, is so the FedEx driver came. He came and said, "I'm here to pick up your package."
Right.
And I said, "Well, they're supposed to give me a label."
Right.
They said they have a pre-printed label. He said, oh, yeah, it's up in my visor. I said, "Well, what I want to do is take a picture of the label." So when I got back in the house, I looked at the label, and I'm like, "Oh, my God, what the?"
Right.
So then I took off running out of my house to them, and then actually I drove to the FedEx distribution center and contacted their office there. They got a hold of a supervisor. They brought my package. They delivered it back to me, so I have it at home now. But
is this the new phone? Is this the new phone?
Yes, brand new.
Okay,
yep.
So you got the new phone, the new watch, and everything, but they're still asking you for your old phone?
Well, they will, but no, this is just, they said it was, they sent me a refurbished phone. I said, "No, I don't want to refurbish." And they said, you need to send it back to us.
Okay.
Because it has a bad battery.
Yeah, I got it. Did you do that?
Process. Well, that's how I got in the entrapment of sending it back.
I know, but is it still in your possession or not?
Yep. It's right here.
You got to. Here's what you need to do.
I got it back.
How close is the Comcast?
FedEx.
How close is the Comcast store to you?
Oh, it's just 5 miles away.
You get in the car and just take it back and drop it off at a Comcast center. They'll take it, they'll box it, they'll ship it for you, and they'll take it off your report. If you're not, they're going to send you a collections, and they'll charge you for the phone. You don't want that. Just drop it off at a Comcast center, and they'll give you a receipt. Yep. And then you save that receipt, put it in your box for a year, and then you're going to be fine. But you got to send that back. Otherwise, they're going to charge you full rip for a phone. I think it's $8.99 for a refurb. So you don't want to do that.
So I bring my old phone and whatever the phone they sent me. They said it was a refurb, but I don't even believe them.
Yeah, so. Listen, here's the thing. You don't care. If you have the new phone and you have the watch and that works, that's on your account now, keep that. Your old phone, you can probably do whatever you want unless you got trade-in credit. Did you apply it to trade-in credit?
Correct, I did, yeah.
Okay, then you need to, you absolutely have to send that phone, because what's going to happen if you don't, they're going to charge you full rip, and you're going to see, like, if you got $300 for it, it's going to go right back onto you're going to owe $300 more on Xfinity. You don't want to do that. So you want to send in your phone, your phone for trade-in. That you should have gotten an email for. They should have given you a pre-printed label. You dropped
they did.
Okay, you need to put that in a box, put that phone in the box with whatever you were supposed to bring with a cable or whatever. If you said it was, good condition, put that in a box, print out that label, and then FedEx, you can actually call FedEx to come pick it up, or you can drop it off at the Apple store and they'll ship it for you. And then that refurb phone has to go back. So what I would do is, in this order, get your old phone, put it in a box, put the pre-print label on it, and then get your refurbed phone that you had. Go to Xfinity store, tell them what happened, be patient with them, bro, because they're just kids, and give them that, and then you'll be good.
All right. Yeah, that took over my whole weekend. It was a weekend.
You should have called me earlier.
I
would have made a phone. I would have made a phone call to your VP in Chicago. I know him. I played golf with him.
You're an expert in it. That's why I wanted to call you, because you know how the whole situation works.
Yeah, because
Comcast,
considering that me and like 50 other people wrote the entire mobile strategy for Comcast, yeah, I know how it works. So that's what you need to do.
Yeah, now Matt, it's Xfinity. So,
well,
there you go, Comcast.
It's actually Xfinity Mobile if you want to get really specific about it. And I
told them, you're right.
Yeah, it's Xfinity Mobile, but I told them not to name it that. I said,
you know what? I'm not promoting them, but I tell you what, they give the lowest prices and
they do
good service.
Comcast does. That when we implemented the NPS system, which is the Net Promoter System, Comcast became one of the best customer service places. Texas District was number one for all 3 years I was there. And we became a customer service centered organization. And Comcast isn't bad as long as you stay on the pricing. You got to stay on top of them because they'll grandfather you into a low price and then they'll screw you over a year later. But as long as you remember, here's what I recommend. Whenever you make a deal with Comcast and they give you special pricing, 5 seconds after you hang up, put it in your calendar to remind yourself when it ends. So 2 years from that date, if that's what your contract was, set a calendar reminder. That way you get a reminder. Call Comcast a week earlier so you can start negotiating your new prices.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, they boost it up, and then you don't realize that they boosted it up. And the next thing you know, 2 months later, you're like,
you're
locked
screwed.
Into a different
that's
plan.
What they just did to me on Veed. Is I was working with Veed, and then Veed charged me $386 the other night when I was on live, and I'm like, so I call, I'm like, what in the fuck is this? And I said, I was at $147 a year, and they're like, well, your service promotion expired. I said, it's funny because when I canceled, you offered me 60% off. I'll just take the 60% off. And they're like, no. And I said, well, according to Virginia law, code section 10.1.3, let me read it to you. You guys have to, in a very publicized manner, educate me on the pricing, and you have to make at least 3 contact attempts, one 90 days, one 60 days, one 30 days, and then an additional 15 is variable for you to notify me that you're increasing the price and or charging my card and re-upping me on a renew. You didn't do that. And they said, well, actually, yes, we did. I said, what's funny, because I run all my servers where my emails are attached. Here's my server report. And no, your email system did not fucking ping mine. So would you like to go and take and play round 2 of Jeopardy? Literally 10 seconds after I did that, $386 made it back into my PayPal account. And all I said was, oh, looks like you refunded me. Go fuck yourself. And I hung up.
Yeah, they're supposed to notify you.
Yeah, they are.
You are correct.
They didn't.
Like credit card companies, cell phone companies, rate changes.
Yeah.
They're supposed to by law, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to, but they don't do it, and you can nail them for it, and that's weights and measures, and there is a massive fine for that. I mean, accumulating. Comcast got sued for that. If you notice, when you go to Comcast, they have to review your bill with you now, and then they have to have you DocuSign, and you have to sign it like a contract, and if they don't do that, everything on there is null and void. So it's I think it's called HEPA agreement. It's not HIPAA, it's HEPA, HEPA. And we had to roll that out with Comcast, and we did that too. Listen, I got to go, buddy. It's always fun talking to you.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for the info.
You got it, Joseph.
Hopefully we enlighten some people on how they work.
Why not? Why not? Appreciate you, buddy. Have a good one.
All right.
All right, guys, let's end it with this. Baron Coleman, I told you I was going to play it, and then I'm going to go. Watch this.
Hard to take the story of Tyler Robinson that we're being fed without the Lance Twiggs component, being this persistent, showing up, looking to me like a federal operator, or at least an asset of some sort from the very beginning, from his his late teenage years. And, then the stories come out that his parents were having a lot of problems with him, and, his grandparents were having problems with him, and, Twiggs, yeah. And so it looks like you have a problem child who's chronically online, who's obviously sexually disturbed. God knows what his internet search history looked like. God knows what kind of Discord groups and Reddit pages he was looking at and all kinds of other stuff. A guy like that is ripe, we can offer you a way out of this. And so I sort of always took it from that perspective. That's sort of what made me start to be skeptical of the whole story from the beginning is the Lance Twiggs component, not the Tyler Robinson component.
This goes on for multiple. First of all, he has no idea what a special operator is. He has no idea what CIA or clandestine operations are. This guy is a shill. This is the guy that told you that it was an exploding mic, and now that they've seen the video of Tyler Robinson doing the sideways military crawl, they're screwed, and they know this. There is a high-definition video. Candace has held on to it for a year. Candace Owens knows 100% that it's Tyler Robinson. She understands that. She also knows she has pegged her entire career on the fact that it isn't, and she is going to lie, cajole, spin until the cows go home, and her little buddies like Baron Coleman and Ian Carroll and all the other ones who spread the bullshit lies and are questioning every single narrative. Here's the thing. Name one thing that they've said that's panned out. Just name one. Egyptian airplanes, Britney Spears, B. Colt, Trapdoor, Tyler Robinson was a CIA asset. This was the Jews. It was Kash Patel. Off Label rated the stream. Thank you, Off Label. Appreciate it. So the whole point of this is you got to make up your own mind. It's not my job to tell you. I'm not here to rail against Candace. It's not like I'm getting viewers by railing against Candace. But I've been telling you this for 3.5 years, long before Candace exposed herself. And I told you she was a charlatan. She was a never-Trumper. She hated Trump. She hated Republicans. She's not a Republican. She's a progressive, and she's been a progressive since 2015 and before when she applied at NBC and CNN. She's a liar. She's an opportunist. And that's why Charlie called her a demon. Let's go ahead and take a look over at Off-Label Podcasts. Let's go take a look. Off-Label Podcast. Okay, little anime thing going on. Looks like they're into politics. They had the Mamdani commercial on. They're live right now, I guess. Or were. We'll give them a like. Give a big like right there. Hell, we'll even repost them. I hope they're not. I hope they're guys, because if they're not, I misgendered them. But good for them. Thanks for the raid, y'all. We appreciate you. Brought some people in here. I'm not sure how many it brought in. We were kind of a little slow for tonight, but that's okay. Throw us a like if you don't mind. Rumble is a mess. Ads overplaying ads like ads Inception here. Honestly, I'm willing to cut the ads off, Rumble. I don't make shit off of them. They don't take care of us. Sorry about that, guys. I can always, hey, Tammy, let's talk about the ads here, and I can get those shut off because we're not making any money from them. I mean, Rumble is just like, we don't make money off Rumble, which is fine. I don't care. We make our bread off Facebook and YouTube and Instagram donations and our partners. Joseph, I'm happy it helped you. Guys and girls, listen. I hope you guys are well. I hope everyone's doing okay. Appreciate you guys watching the show tonight. Thanks for letting me run solo. Olivia will be here Wednesday, and Tyler the Fish will be here. Let's talk about that. This is going to be some good lineup coming on. Tyler the Fish Fisher will be here, which will be amazeballs. And Ethan and I are going to do that interview, so you get to see Ethan all night. That'll be fun. Damani Felder, my brother from another mother, will be here Friday for Jacket Friday giveaway. Hannah Pruder will be in-house. Did I tell you guys that? She's coming in-house. She'll be right here sitting inside the Don't Unfriend Me studio. Lisa Regina will be back. This time we're going to get her on no matter what. Ben Morgan from Tonto Vodka will be here. One hell of a good dude. And then Amber Hilliker from the amazing, the illustrious Amber May Show over on Rumble. So she'll be here. Thanks for letting us hit gold tonight, y'all. Please do me a favor and give us, I hear like 3 of the same ad 1 second apart playing over hosts, so catch y'all on the flip. Dude, LSD, that sucks. I'm so sorry about that. We got to get that fixed. You think they would be paying us for that? We don't make shit on Rumble for those ads. Anyway, we're winding down. Tammy, kick us off. Where are we going? Show us where we're going. Take us home to the promised land. And we'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Now, you don't have to jump right now. We're actually going to do a quick little fly over to another podcast. And where did she say we were going? Oh, looks like Megamoo? Megamoo? The Omega Moos, the Lambdas. Lambda. And in the stream on Rumble. Hurry up, Tammy. Get us out of here. That a girl. All right, we're going to go over to Mega Moo. Let's go say hi. Oh, I like her. She's cool.
Taste testing. We are eating snacks. We are talking about all the snacks from our childhood. So we're talking fruit rolls, bagel bites, cosmic brownies, Lunchables, fruit roll-ups, fruit by the foot, Gushers. We're only in division number 2, and you guys are getting to choose the ultimate snack from our childhood tonight. And Killing It just sent a rant of $5, and we just spun the wheel. Joey with the 5 gifted! And chat has chosen the Macarena.
I have no idea what this is about, but we're out of here. It's got a good setup. It's very pink, very, very flavorful. We're out of here, folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be here 7 o'clock. It'll be Leroy and I. Can't wait to see you. God bless. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.